Hi everyone, welcome back to Wednesdays with Randall. I'm sure you know from watching everyone else's videos so far this week that the topic is our coming out stories. So I'm going to share mine with you today. I grew up in a very small country town. I was definitely different than all the other boys. I wasn't a hunter, I wasn't a fisher, I didn't want to do things like that. I wanted to be a cheerleader, I wanted to do gymnastics. My family was very unsupportive of those things as I was growing up. I guess they were protecting me from the small town that I lived in and the ridicule and things that I would face by being a big homosexual in a town like that. So when I was 15, I came out to one of my closest friends. Cheryl was actually the first person that I came out to. And I kept up with who I came out to up to number 11, and then after that it kind of spiraled out of control. I grew up in the kind of town where everyone knows everyone and everyone knows everyone's business. My mother worked at the high school, so I knew that if I didn't tell my parents soon, then someone else would. So I started preparing myself to come out to my family. I wrote a letter to both of my sisters, one letter each, and then a letter to each one of my parents. I accidentally, drunkenly told my sister in the back seat of her car one night. She was driving a drunken friend of mine home, and it just kind of happened. But of course she was supportive and was okay with it. I gave the letter to my other sister, my oldest sister, in my bedroom, and we had a good cry together, and she informed me that if I wanted to have children, she would have my kids for me, which was great because that's the closest way that I'll ever actually be able to have a child of my own, would be me with my partner, would be her egg and my partner's sperm, and the closest we could get to having our own child. So both of my sisters were extremely supportive. I really didn't know what my parents were going to do, so I left the letter for them and I went to the movies. The last line of the letter said, "Please don't call me, I'm out with my friends. I'll be home by curfew. Just kind of relax for a minute and think this over." They relaxed for a little more than a minute. The whole next 2 days, they kind of just pretended like I wasn't even there. I would go in and out of the house and they wouldn't say one word. That was a little difficult because I really wasn't sure what they were thinking. Then about 2 days later, they sat me down in the kitchen and we had a whole conversation. It's wrong, it's a sin, you're totally not, you're thinking about this all wrong. Have you ever slept with a girl? Then maybe you should. Give it a try, make sure that you don't like it. At least until you know for sure, don't tell people, because once you go that way, there's no way to go back. No one's gonna want you if you come out as gay. That was difficult, to say the least. My sister actually came in the room during the conversation, and my mom said that she could just kill her for calling me gay as I was growing up, because clearly it was all her fault that I was coming out now. After that, we kind of just acted like it never happened. Like, I never said it, they never heard it, and nothing like that ever happened. But the whole time I was dating guys, and they never knew it. My best friend, Roxanne, became my girlfriend, even though I haven't had a girlfriend since it actually meant that you just sit at home all day on the phone with some girl when you're in like 4th grade. As far as my family was concerned, I was probably gonna marry this girl, and she came to all my family functions with me and everything, but she was also the lie that I could use, like, oh, going to the movies with Roxanne. I was really going to the movies with Andrew or James or Josh. And my oldest sister wasn't living at home anymore. She had her own house, and so she would allow me to bring boys to her house, and she would cook us dinner and we would watch movies with her and stuff. So she was extremely supportive of things. It was really just my parents that I was keeping things from. My uncle found out that I had came out and kind of started a riot with my grandparents. He didn't want my cousin coming to their house anymore. It started to get to where more and more people were finding out, and it wasn't something that my parents could ignore anymore. They started facing things a little more head-on. Right after I turned 18, they sat me down. We had a big conversation about if I still was choosing to do this and whatever. At that time I told them, you know, I've been to the gay bar in Nashville, and I've been dating guys this whole time, blah blah blah. They took the stance of, we don't like it, we don't accept it, but we'll support you in your decisions, which is a great first step, really. It's kind of more than I could have asked for at the time. You know, it was exactly what I needed from them. Over the years, they've changed a lot. I've taken numerous boyfriends on family vacations now. Now anytime I go to a family function, they want to know where my other half is and if I'm bringing someone and that sort of thing. They're extremely supportive now. They have a long way to go towards accepting full-on gay culture and stuff. They don't really know about Riley. They've never been to a show. My sisters have, but as far as my parents, I've never been to a show or anything like that. We don't talk about it. We act like it doesn't exist, and it's just the easiest way to deal with that with them for the time being. But as far as my actual, like, being gay and having boyfriends and that sort of thing, they're extremely accepting now. I guess that's really my coming out story at this point. I mean, it's ever changing and ever evolving, and I'm sure that I'll have updates for you guys later. That's pretty much the basis of it. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment me. I would love to hear from you guys. My Riley St. James Facebook page, be sure to check it out. Be sure to subscribe to the Our Different Stories channel so you can watch everyone's videos all week. Definitely a fun thing to get everyone's different views on stuff and see how different people were approached with different things in their lives. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like us on Facebook, make sure you find my Facebook page and add me. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Facebook or comment on here. Love you guys.